Shalom, family. Shalom, Mishpaha. And welcome, everyone, to my channel. I am Hadassah Zadik El, and this is Reading Torah Together, where we study to show thyself approved. This channel, I am going to be taking the time to read a scripture. I'm going to say half a scripture or something of that nature every day so that we can really get immersed in what Yah, the Most High Yah, has for us. This book is about Hebrew Israelite and our heritage and this truth. This book is not about Christianity. That is a Gentile way of looking at us. Okay? So the Gentiles called us Jews. And the true Jews are us. But in Revelation, there are those that say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And Jewish, they were Jew. Okay? But outside of that, this King James Version Bible is where I'm going to be reading from. And then I have the Apocrypha. If anyone knows about the history, they understand that the Council of Nicaea separated a lot of books, took out a lot of books. So it's supposed to be like this alongside of many other ones. So the more I get, the more we're going to be able to read. And I hope you guys come along with me on my journey to Revelation. Okay? Yah loves us. The Most High YAHAWAH. Okay, that is his name. YAHAWAH. YHWH. It's in the Bible. You just put A's in there. YAHWAH. Okay? YAHAWAH. So, he wants us to read the book the way we are supposed to be reading the book. Now, a lot of us have grown up in Christian backgrounds, which I did. Okay, I was one that went to church on Sunday with my grandma. I was in the choir and everything, singing high praise, so I know how it is to have been instilled the wrong thing but the right way. My grandma only knew what she knew, but now being older and me have come into this truth and me trying to have discussions with my grandmother, she is now telling me that she did have these questions in her spirit as she was a younger girl going to, I think, monastery school and stuff, different stuff like that. I think my grandmother was heavy into schooling, and she too had these questions, but she never really went into it, I guess, like really researched it. She just kind of stayed at the surface because nobody else was talking the way she was talking. So now here we are, fast forward to me talking the way she used to talk, and it's now like bringing up things in her, and I see her light up, and I'm just very excited that YAHAWAH and YAHAWAH chose me to be that one of my family, okay, that chosen one of my family to be able to lead us and guide us to Yah. Yah's way is the way to be. And he only gave us 10 commandments, okay? 10 of them. So we can't even, okay, there's actually more, because like I said, this more books, okay, y'all, and more to come, and I'm going to be reading each and every one of them, y'all. And I pray that y'all come with me on this journey, because we need to read these if we really, really love the Most High Yah like we say we do. Okay, so that being said, again, my name is Hadassah Zadik El, also known as Nikisha Howell. That was my government, and this is my indigenous Hebrew appellation. is being Hadassah Zadik El. This is the name that Yah gave me. Hadassah is actually Esther in the Bible, and it tells you that when you take the time to read, which we'll get to, and I'll have this discussion wherever Yah moves me into speaking to you guys while I'm reading. Then I'm going to give it to y'all to break it down in layman's terms where we can modernly understand this ancient text. Okay. All right, so without further ado, Toda Rabah Abba for bringing us all to this channel, Father. Toda Rabah for your word, and I pray that I become a vessel to be able to speak your truth. All these things I ask and I pray in your holy name, YAHAWAH, and in your mighty Son, YAHAWAH HaMashiach's name, we pray. Yamin and Selah. Okay. We're going to start in the beginning because me being locked up once upon a time, y'all, I got locked up for 5 months. And in that time frame, the Most High was like, you're not leaving until you read this book. And for a long time, I didn't know what book he was talking about, y'all. I was reading all kinds of books, and it wasn't the book that he was talking about. So once I really realized that he was talking about the good book, I, had to sit down and read it. He gave me this book. It's just a lot of things that is going to be in my books, okay? Because I'm writing 2 books. One book so far is called Love Me Anyway. It's my journey to self-revelation, okay? And how the Most High has grabbed me, told me that, I must heal his people, but I must first heal myself. So that's what I've been doing, y'all. And now I'm on this stage in this place where I'm creating different things. So I have a small company called Hadassah's Naturals where I make everything healing from your head to your soul. Okay? And I make body butters, soaps, candles so far. And I used to make immune boosting juices. I had 3 kinds. Okay, I had Mean Green, Ready Freddy, and Orange You Okay, y'all. I'll put some pictures up in here. And I was in Atlanta once upon a time. I am now in Vidalia, Georgia, girl. Where Vidalia, Georgia? On the map. Oh my gosh, like the sweet onion, Vidalia, Georgia. That's where I'm at, y'all. Why? How? Yeah. That's all I can say. Okay? So, again, without further ado, and forgive me, it's hot. I gotta, y'all, with this fan, it's hot, but I don't get this done because this is what y'all wants of me. He want me to be able to do this. He told me this. And in me reading this Torah, I come to find that it was Nehemiah and Ezra that were instrumental in taking the people, sitting them all down, those who had an ear to hear, and taking the time to read Torah to them. Again, Torah is the Bible. Now, my baby's a little worn out, like I said, because he has been through the fire with me. And we're going to start in Genesis, okay? Bereshit in Hebrew. Genesis. Bereshit. Bereshit. But it's pronounced Bereshit in Hebrew, okay? So we're going to start in Genesis. And if you guys want to take notes, highlight, do the same thing I did, because really get into this word. Because all of this, really the first stuff is the Most High speaking to us about what he wants. Okay? His son came down not to change or do away with the law. And that's in Matthew, and we're going to get there. Okay? So we supposed to be doing the same thing that YAHAWAH was doing. And the world so ignorantly calls him Jesus. Why? Because the Gentiles put us in captivity because of our disobedience. We got to get these 10 right, y'all, and stop allowing other nations to change who we are. We are Yah's children, and that's just who we are. And this is a big book of courage. Like, in the face of real disaster, in the face of real evil, we literally had courage. Emetz in Hebrew. The Apocrypha was a wonderful book with the Maccabees. That's where Hanukkah comes from, y'all, not Christmas. See, it's a lot of stuff. And we're going to get to all of this because we're going to be reading. And if you guys have one, if you guys have your cell phone, that's fine. You can use that. Make sure it's the King James Version. And let's get the reading. Okay? Not international, not new, nothing. No new nothing. King James. KJV. KJV or nothing, baby. Okay? So, let's get the reading. Bereshit, like I said, in Hebrew. The first book of Moses, Moshe in Hebrew, called Genesis, Bereshit in Hebrew. Chapter 1. In the beginning, Yah created heaven and the earth. Now, a lot of times they put God in here. A lot of times they put Lord in here. And it's really his name. Yah has a name. God has a name. Like, has a name. He's not just God. And his son carries his name. So if his name was Jesus or Jesus, what is his father's name? I don't know. That's why I said Christianity ain't right, y'all. That's not the right way to go. This is the right book, not the right lesson. Okay? Hebrew is the right lesson. Okay? So let's keep it moving. Chapter 1. In the beginning, Yah created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the waters. And Yah said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And Yah saw the light, that it was Tov, which is good, and Yah divided the light from the darkness. And Yah called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Okay, and so verse 5, and Yah called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. So day and night, well, light and darkness was separated and made on the first day. Okay, we got that, right? And Yah said, this is verse 6, and Yah said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And Yah made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And Yah called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So the second day he did the firmaments. There's one above us, and there's one below us, and it's separating the waters. Okay? And verse 9, and Yah said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together to one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. So Yah called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And Yah saw that it was Tov. Now, What we call oceans today, Yah calls seas. So biblically speaking, those were seas. No ocean. Seas. Okay? And Yah said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Yah saw that it was good. Tov. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And Yah said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. 16. And Yah made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made stars also. 17. And Yah set them in the firmament of heaven, Shamayim, to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. So there's light and there's darkness. What we say, daytime and nighttime, or yeah, daytime, nighttime. It's what did he say? What did we say? Okay, so and to rule over the day and over the night. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, but it's the darkness. He made the stars also. And Yah set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. I said it like that because we cannot believe in that space stuff, and the only space is between us, how far we can look with our naked eye, okay, and the firmament. We can't see beyond that. So space is a lie. NASA, NASA, in Hebrew means to deceive. Y'all, let's get back into our life and our language, and we can understand this trickery, okay? Because we need to be quick enough to slow down to catch up to the trickery of Satan, because the devil and Yah are in the details. Okay, y'all? Okay. Where we at? 17. And Yah set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. 18. And to rule over the day and over the night. See, day and night. Day and night. Yeah, yeah. And to divide them the lights from the darkness. The light and the darkness. Okay, so the light and the dark. Day and night. Light and dark. And Yah saw that it was Tov. Good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And Yah said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And Yah created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And Yah saw that it was good. Tov. And Yah blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And Yah said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, the beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And Yah made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And Yah saw that it was Tov. And Yah said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, And let them have dominion over the fish and of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and every other creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Who was God talking to? Who was Yah talking to? Y'all, he was talking to Mother Earth. The human body is made up of natural elemental elements that is of Mother Earth. Father, Spirit, Mother Earth, creation, man. This Hebrew stuff is amazing. So elemental, but elementary. Taking it back to like, stop being so extra and philosophical sometimes. For real. Mother Earth and Father Spirit, Father Time, the universe, all that. That's who he is. And the mother is Earth. He was talking to Mother Earth. He created Earth, and Earth was going to obey him. Let's make man in our image. I thought that was just so cool. And Yah said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So Yah created man in his own image. In the image of Yah created he him. Male and female he created he them. He did not say man and woman. He said male and female. Okay? See, nowadays people can play around with their word woe man, because technically woe man in Hebrew is like woe to you, man, in Hebrew, like an unbeliever, a Gentile, someone who does not follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the true creator of the world. That is a woe man. So, yes, males can walk around here nowadays and have female inside parts like a uterus and hold babies and all that crazy stuff, and say that they are still a woman. You can have woman. I'll take female. I am a fetus carrying male. Y'all took us out of their rib. Like it or not, that's how it happened. We're going to read that. Okay. (28) And Yah blessed them, and Yah said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And Yah said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. So, vegetables and fruits growing on a tree that yield seed, and also in the ground that yields seed, that's supposed to be meat for us. Okay. 30. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And Yah saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. All of that in 6 days. He created all of that. Okay? The light and the darkness upon the face of the waters. First there was the waters. Then upon the face of the waters he created light and dark. He was able to separate it through the waters. Then he created firmament. He separated waters. Then after he created firmament and separated waters, and light and dark. He created the sun and the moon and the stars to govern the day and the night. And then after that, he started making animals, trees, vegetation, all lush and green and beautiful. He started making all of that. Then he made us in his in Mother Earth's image. And he gave us dominion. Well, this is still Adam first. But all of that in 6 days. Okay? Chapter 2. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day Yah ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. So he chilled on the seventh day. Now, if we look at our modern day Gregorian calendar, Sunday begins the week and Saturday ends the week. Just because we go to school and work on Monday don't mean that's the beginning of the week. It is not. Sunday begins the week. Saturday ends the week. So we're supposed to technically work from Sunday to Friday. No, Sunday to Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday are the weekends. And then that's Sunday starts the weekday. That's how it really is supposed to be. So Sunday starts the week. Saturday ends the week. Saturday is the seventh day. It's the day of rest and worship. Yah himself rested on that seventh day from all that he created. And that's what he wanted all of us to do. So he was resting and chilling. I too must rest and chill and worship him. Okay. Number 4, chapter 2. These are the generations of the heavens of the earth when they were created in the day that Elohim, YAHAWAH Elohim, made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for YAHAWAH Elohim had not cursed it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there, and see, it didn't even rain back then. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And YAHAWAH Elohim formed man of dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And YAHAWAH Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. 9 Out of the ground made the Most High Yah to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted, and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pishon, that is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is it which goeth towards the east of Assyria, and the fourth river of Euphrates. And the Most High God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Most High God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely, But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. So he was able to eat of every tree of the garden. You can eat freely. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. Die from being inexperienced children. Die from being in his safety net of the Ruach HaKodesh. Which, when we walk around every day and those that do his, obey his law, statutes, and commandments, now we are protected, but now we have to go experience stuff with our eyes and our lives because we chose to eat the apple. But it's also metaphorically speaking for a lot of things that we decided to disobey God and do. And always consequences. Always consequences. Okay? But he gave us the freedom of choice. He did. Okay. So just not out of that one now. The tree of good and evil. That's the only one he said not to eat out of. I'm just saying. Because I would have chose eternal life. That would have been cool. We'd have been eternally his children. We wouldn't have had to know evil and good. We wouldn't have had to experience it. That's so deep. 18. And YAHAWAH Elohim said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. I am single right now, and I have been in prayer to the Most High about, my true king, and I pray that he find me, but that is not why I'm on here right now. I was just, trying to put that out there that, being a helpmeet is something that is a good desire. It's a desire for me because I want to be a righteous wife to a righteous man. You got to really be and know Abba, like for real. 19. And out of the ground the Most High Yah formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And I'm pretty sure he was speaking Hebrew. Now there is modern day Yiddish, and then there is Paleo Hebrew. So I would like to learn, and I have been trying to dip and dab in learning both of them in various ways. So, like, that's why I keep saying certain words, Tov and Shamaim and stuff like that. So those are the Hebrew words that we spoke. "21. And YAHAWAH Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Most High Elohim had taken from man made he a female, and brought her unto the male. And Adam said, this is now bones of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called female, because she was taken out of male. And she is the fetus carrying male. That's why we have female in front of us. Okay? Well, the fee in front of male. 23. And Adam said, oh, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called female, because she was taken out of man. Male. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. They were not ashamed because they were in obedience to the Most High Yah. So they didn't know nothing better. They didn't know nothing else. I'm going to say that because there's nothing better than obedience to the Most High Yah. Nothing better. Okay. Chapter 3, guys. Verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Most High Yah had made. And he said unto the female, Yea, hath Yah said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? First of all, a snake is talking to me. That is not cool. But I'm assuming that we were in cohesion. You know, we could understand the animals and the animals could understand us. Yah and everything, we was in cohesion. Everything was just flowing at that time because we were in obedience. Yah created it all. He allowed us to have dominion and just dominate over these foods. So a snake is talking to her. A snake is asking her about the garden. And he's talking about every tree. First of all, I guess she had to be sitting there pondering what she was going to be doing anyway, because why he just come up and start talking about a tree randomly. And Hasatan don't make nobody do nothing. He only can suggest and convince you that what you already been thinking about is what you need to go ahead and do. He sends trouble your way to make you feel that what you already been thinking about doing, which is against Yah's word, but go ahead and do it anyway. Because it's better to just go ahead and do it. Just, you thinking about it already, just go ahead and do it. And that's not good, y'all. That's not good. That sets us up for disaster. It really does. But Yah gave us the choice. He gave us the right of choice. So like right now, this is our choice to sit here and study and to read his word and to understand him more and to understand his prophets and prophetesses more and to be able to put it in, apply it to us as modern day Hebrews and Hebrewisses and Hebresses. Hebrews and Hebresses. Okay. And the female said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yah hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. 4. And the serpent said unto the female, Ye shall not surely die, for Yah doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Like, that's all. You just gonna know good and evil. And he convinced her that that wasn't a bad thing to know good and evil. But Yah knew that that was a bad thing to have experienced good and evil. You only want to experience good. You only want to do good. And he set us up for that. For us to be in our own little area, away from people, separate, and doing our own wonderful thing. And we had to go mess that up. Let's keep reading, y'all. 6. And when the female saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Now she was wrong for that, because she didn't want to just get in trouble by herself, and she should have just went down by herself, but she was a punk on that part right there, and she gave her husband something that he wasn't supposed to be eating, and he didn't know, because he trusted her. He was like, Why shouldn't I trust her? God gave her to me. So, ladies, we need to watch out how we are rearing our households, because if we are thinking in a Satanistic cardinal mind, then we shall steer our house in the wrong way. Because yes, our man is supposed to be the head of the household, yet we influence the household. He's the head, we're the influence. Okay? And I'm talking to y'all, talking to me, because I, like I said, desire to be someone's Isha. And I know I can be. It's just deadbeats follow me. They find me, and I'm trying to figure out why. I don't want them in my world. They're a waste of time. I need my king with me, for real. So I need to learn how to do right and be righteous, so that he shall be the righteous man that I need, so that I can be the submissive female that he needs. Boom. Okay. 7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And when they heard the voice of YAHAWAH Elohim walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of YAHAWAH Elohim amongst the trees of the garden. Why y'all hide yourself like y'all don't see y'all? Y'all just heard him coming. Okay? He knew where y'all was at. That's why he was coming y'all way. But now they done disobeyed, and their brains is all discombobulated, because now they know evil. Now they understand disobedience. Now they can disobey. Because at first we just could obey. Now we can. It just gave us the choice. Quote unquote, eating the apple gave us that choice of disobedience. It gave us that extra option of disobedience. So disobedience means that Satan's hand is just on you. You disobeying y'all, then that means Satan's hand is on you. It's a game they're playing, Yah and Satan, and it's a game of chess. Hence the black and white checkerboard with the Illuminati videos, pictures, all that stuff. It goes so deep, because it's a game that the spirits are playing, and the good spirit, righteousness and unrighteousness, and we are pawns in that game, like it or not. We are. So, but Hasatan can't do nothing. I mean, can't do nothing without asking permission first. He can't even bust a move. So I don't even know what's wrong with his little mind. He that's what I say. When we learn how to disobey, we learn how to be in confusion. Once we learn how to disobey, we learn how to be in confusion. Because how in the world you think that the Father that created you don't know your moves? You got to ask him permission to even bust a move. So funny. And you think somehow, some way you're going to outsmart him? That is so confusing. Okay, where was we at? Oh, 8. And they heard the voice of YAHAWAH Elohim walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of YAHAWAH Elohim amongst the trees of the garden. And the Most High called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The female whom thou gavest to me to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And YAHAWAH Elohim said unto the woman, the female, What is this that thou hast? Okay, my book, y'all. My book. I had to flip the page over. Done. And the female said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. So she tried to blame it on Hasatan, but she was sitting there the whole time contemplating on whether she was going to eat that dang on tree from that tree or not. He just helped her along. He just convinced her a little bit more. That's all. She was already convincing herself. That was crazy. It all starts here. Even though we ain't bust the move yet, it all starts here, and then it grows in here, and then we bust the move. Whether it be righteous or unrighteous. And the Most High Elohim said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all the cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between the female and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the female he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception in sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face thou shalt thou eat bread till thou return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. That's our mama. That's our mama. The dirt, the dust. That's who he was talking to. Mother Earth. Yep. That's it right there. That's what he said. Came from her. And Adam called his wife Eve, but it wasn't that in Hebrew. It was something else. I'll get back to y'all on that one. Yes, Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also to his wife did YAHAWAH Elohim make coats of skins and clothe them. And YAHAWAH said, behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore, the Most High YAHAWAH sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Now, there is a whole nother book that is right in here, and it's called the Book of Adam and Eve. I'm going to get that book as well, and we're going to read that book together. So I suggest you guys go ahead and get that book. You can get all of them off Amazon. The Book of Adam and Eve. There's also a couple of other books that were taken out that we're going to take the time to read, and I'm going to take the time to order so that we can read together. And I'm going to give you guys a list. I'm going to let you guys know the list on the second portion of Genesis, because this is the first portion of Bereshit, where we're going to do 1 through 25 and then 25 through 50 on the next video. Yes, and like I stated, on the next video, I'm going to give you guys the list of the books that we're going to be ordering and we're going to be reading. So it's like book club / Bible studies / I don't know, watching a book, watching a movie, because in my mind when I read, it's a freaking, I get image. I get a whole, like I'm watching a whole movie. in my eyeballs. So serious. It's so cool. Yes, so the book of Adam and Eve is right in betwixt this. Okay, and once we get that book and we read that book, you're gonna be like, oh, okay. So I see what Hadassah was talking about with the correlation, because I mean, so serious. It explains a lot of this stuff. Like, they really kind of like skipped and like skimmed and then like, threw it together. But it goes into way better detail, that book. Okay, so chapter 4. Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from YAHAWAH. Now, in the book of Adam and Eve, and I've read it before, but I did it through like YouTubing book, YouTubing the book. And in reading that, we have found that Adam and Eve, we're going to call her that for right now, they had 4 children. They had actually 5, because of the tragedy that happened between Cain and Abel. And then they ended up turning around and having another son named Seth. But first there was a boy and a girl, like a daughter and a son. Cain had a twin sister. Abel had a twin sister. Abel was supposed to marry Cain's sister, and Cain was supposed to marry Abel's sister, but Abel's sister was not as fine as Cain's sister, and Cain wanted his own sister. So, controversy. We're gonna read, okay? Y'all, we really gotta get the whole shebang of this book. Like, really get the whole shebang of the story. And I feel that, talking about it in the modern way is going to make us really want to perk up and read, because we have been taught, of course, through Christianity, a lot of us, and, certain passages. We have never sat there, and a lot of us haven't read the whole book, and then some of us have read the whole book, but they only caught Christianity from it, which is incorrect, because it's about Hebrew. It from the beginning, it's been about being Hebrew Israelite. It didn't change. God doesn't change, and He says that in there. He changes not. So why are we changing? We need to go backwards, y'all. We need to do right. We need to go backwards. We must ask ourselves, are we doing what God wants us to do? The only way we're going to know this is if we take the time to read His book and all the other ones that they took out. Because it's reasons for them for why they took it out. They wanted to push their narrative. And, of course, you see how they all come, honey. They're going to all believe that lie. It don't matter. Because it's all for one and one for all. And if it's a lie, it's going to be all around lie. And that's exactly what it's been all of these years. An all around lie. But they are all in conglomerate with it. Chapter 4, verse 2. And she again bare his brother, and Abel was a keeper, his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought out of the fruit of the ground an offering unto YAHAWAH, and Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Most High had respect unto Abel and his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And YAHAWAH said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? Now we're going to stop right there. And again, like I said, the book of Adam and Eve goes into detail about this situation right here. Because we are Hebrew Israelites, we do sacrifice and give offerings unto the Most High on occasion. And that's a part of our traditions and heritage. Okay? So in doing that, you got to choose what you desired or what you felt like the Most High was going to accept from you. So in the book of Adam and Eve, Cain got some old nasty, fell off the tree already, fruit, ain't good for nothing. Okay, already got holes and worms in it, and he picked all that bad stuff up, and he submitted that to Abba for sacrifice. And of course, y'all did not accept that. Like, boy, you ain't even give me the best of you. If you till the ground, then you need to give me the best of you. Abel gave him the best firstling, like the firstling that he had without spot or blemish. Made him, just made it, prepared it with love, with true honor and glory and respect for Abba. Okay, so that's why he accepted Abel's and did not accept Cain's. And of course, Cain got jealous. He had evil in his heart and he had confusion in his mind. You got evil in your heart and you got confusion in your mind. That's deep. All right. So 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. And the Most High said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I thy brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. It is absolutely crazy. Like I said, messed up in the mind, you confused in the mind, and you evil in your heart. Now, I just, humored him and asked him, because he God would have been like, boy, why you? Because I saw you do it. I know you did it. He said, am I my brother's keeper? I don't know where he at. You lied to the Creator. You lied. Confusion in your mind and evil in your heart. We got to get it up out of us, y'all. We got to get it up out of us because it's causing confusion in our minds. Okay, confusion in our household, confusion in our world, like in life, confusion with all of these countries and nations and all of this stuff. Okay, we not only are the true Hebrew Israelites of this book, but we are the true indigenous of this land. We did not come from Africa. We were already here. We are the Indians of this land. We are the true white peoples of this land. White only means original peoples. And when they came over here, we know who I'm talking about. They dominated over us because we allowed it. We was fools. They dominated over us fools. And they took our title. Because then they became the white people. The first people. That's really what that means. They became the white peoples, the first peoples, through commerce, which is paperwork. Doctorate of Discovery, Sister KV Trusts. Honey, I can tell you a lot. I can tell you a lot. And if you stay here long enough, you're going to be able to hear it. Okay. So where we was at? Oh, 9. And YAHAWAH said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I thy brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength, and fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto YAHAWAH, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Most High said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And YAHAWAH set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of Elohim, and dwelt in the land of Nod, and the east of Eden. Now, I'm going to say this is what I believe, because I haven't had the proof yet, but in reading other books, because I've also read the gold book, okay, Dr. Malachi Z. York, okay, you guys, Anunnaki, and Anunnakis, and the fallen angels, and all of that, okay, Ezra, honey, like I said, we're gonna get into it. Y'all just stay tuned, okay? But we're gonna get through 25. Where we at? And the Most High saith unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Most High set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of Elohim, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. I was about to try to say that Yah created all people, but he chose one people to be his people. And this is how he began his people. Okay? He had already created other people. Like he's going to say in here that he made the different flowers of the field. He said, like the flowers of the field, I created them, but I chose a specific, like tulips, a specific flower for myself. Like, these my special flowers. So yes, he created everybody, and everybody was created. And once he started creating his Hebrew children, his chosen children, he created them as such. Okay, with the dirt and this and that. That's all going to be explained. The book of Adam and Eve, it explains it. And also, like I said, the golden book, it explains how technically we are Yah's experiment. Yah is a scientist. He's a mad scientist, y'all. Spiritually mad scientist. You hear me? Okay? He is both good and evil. Okay? He was so gangster that he decided to create his own adversary who think he can beat him. Now would you just look at Yah? Now would you just look at Yah? Somebody. Okay? So, once he got exiled from the special place that he had his special children, he was able to go out and go forth. Hence, number 17. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch, and he builded a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. Now, this is not the same Enoch, the other prophet. Okay? Now, we're talking about Cain's children, Enoch. Okay? And Cain knew, okay, I did 18. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begat Mehujel, and Mehujel begat Methusel, and Methusel begat Lamech, and Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other one was Zillah. And Adah bare Jabal, and he was father of such as dwelled in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother name was Jubal, and he was the father of all such as handle the harp and the organ. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, Hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For Yah said, She hath appointed me another seed, instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. So, 25 talks about how Adam and Eve begat another son. They never talked about the sisters, but in the book of Adam and Eve, it explains all of that. The sisters, everything, okay? It goes deeper into detail. Like I said, he created all the flowers of the field, but he chose a certain flower for himself, okay? Let's see. So they named him Seth, okay? So now there's Abel is gone. Seth is Seth is now born, and the two daughters are up and around, okay? And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of YAHAWAH. When it says it like that in a big old capitalized letters, and that shows the commerce part to how they try to place Yah in paper. So they called him Lord in all capital letters, hence his straw man that really ain't him, but they say it's him. And that's what they doing to us. Not just us, our people, but they're all nations. Okay? This evil run deep. This evil run deep. Chapter 5. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that Yah created man, and the likeness of Yah made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. Well, technically Adam is one. Adam lived 130 years, and begat a son in his own likeness after his image, and called his name Seth. Now, he lived 130 years, it said? Yes, living 130 years, okay? He was 130 years old. Now, this is going to be in Matthew, but once you hear it in Matthew, it's going to bring you back to this time. Now, day is a day, and night is a day. That was back in the first part of Genesis, okay? So day is a day and night is a day. So that's 2 separate days. We're living 2 days, okay? When we learned that there's 24 hours in a day, no, it's really 12 hours in one day. There's 24 in 2 days. So daytime is a day and nighttime is a day. So we're living 2 days where we think that we are living 1. So they count Hebraically. Okay? And I'm going to say that Hebraically, his age ended up being 130. But we're going to divide that by 2. Let's see. So he was probably 65. He was probably 65 years old in our terms. You know what I'm saying? But in Hebraic terms, like I said, we live 2 days when we think we live in one. We think we're 1 year old, but we're probably a whole 100 years old by that time. That's crazy. Well, yeah, like seriously, we're living 2 days, and again, that's in Matthew, and we're gonna get to that part. But we're living 2 days. That's how he was able to be 135 in Hebraic terms, and technically 65 in modern terms. 4. And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters, and all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. Okay, 930 years old. Let's divide that by 2. He was 465 years old. Technically, we living 2 days, except when we think we live in one now. So a baby comes out, and that following, let's say a baby comes out that night. Okay, so the following night, that baby is technically 3 days old. When we thinking that baby is just 1 day old. No, that baby is 3 days old. The baby was born that night, which is a day. The daytime came, which was the sun's time. Then the baby turned 2 days old. And then when that night fell, that baby turned 3 days old. To us, that was just 1 day. It's like, yeah, the baby was born a day ago. No, 3 days ago. In Hebraic terms, 3 days ago. Crazy. Okay. And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos. And Seth lived after he begat Enos 807 years, and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 90 years and begat Canaan. And Enos lived, now this is Seth's children, okay? So Enos lived 90 years and begat Canaan. And Enos lived after he begat Canaan 815 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 950 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 70 years and begat Mahalalel. And Canaan lived after he begat Mahalalel 840 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. Mahalalel lived 65 years and begat Jared. And Mahalalel lived after he begat Jared 830 years and begat sons and daughters. Now, all of these people that I'm talking about, just understand, overstand, and understand, and you'll hear it when we read the book of Adam and Eve. All of these Seth's children are living up in the mountains. They're living up in mountains, okay? They're at the highest, like one of the high points and stuff like that, like the monks live and stuff like that now. That's how Seth's children lived, up in the mountains. Cain's children were down in the valley. Okay. Let's see. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begat Enoch. This is the Enoch. And Jared lived after he begat Enoch 800 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. And Enoch walked with Yah after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with Yah, and he was not, for Yah took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years and begat Lamech. And Methuselah lived after he begat Lamech 782 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years and begat a son, and he called his name Noah. Noah, but also Noah Utnapishtim. That's the real Hebrew name for him. And I was like, Utnapishtim? That's his true Hebrew name? And they got Noah from that? Honey, what? But Noah is cute too. But Utnapishtim. Okay? So my son's name is Noah, but his indigenous appellation is Utnapishtim. Okay, and he called his name Noah, saying, "This same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which YAHAWAH hath cursed." And Lamech lived after he begat Noah 595 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Whew. Okay. And this is chapter 6, verse 1. It came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born unto them, that the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. The fallen angels came down and had their way with the daughters of men. Okay? To us, they would look like magicians, gods, all kinds of, crazy stuff, because they had stuff that we didn't understand, and they understood it, so it looked like magic to us. They looked like gods, many G to us. Okay. Verse 3, and YAHAWAH said, "My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days." Nephilim. There were giants in the earth those days, and also after that, when the sons of Yah came unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And Yah saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Giants, so serious. All of this was out here now because they was just doing what they wanted. They had a mind of chaos and a heart of evil. And they were being led by these fallen angels who were exiled from Shamayim after losing a fight with Abba. Like y'all was gonna win. Anyway, like Hercules. Honey, you wish you can outsmart Zeus and take over his world. You wish. You ain't gonna be able to. You know your little minions. Okay. So, let's see. And y'all saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Most High that he had made man on earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And YAHAWAH said, "I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them." But Noah found grace in the eyes of YAHAWAH. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. Noah walked with Yah, and Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before Yah, and the earth was filled with violence. And Yah looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And Yah said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before thee, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without with pitch. Gopher wood is cedar wood, and cedar wood, the specific type of cedar wood that he used, was known to be grown in Florida. The Garden of Eden is known to be in a part of Florida. When I tell you this is crazy, y'all, it is absolutely bananas, but this stuff is the truth. The true old world is over here in the Americas, North and South Americas. This is the true old world. Over there, that was a replication, and they replicated everything that was already over here. They either took over there or replicated over there. Okay? The Grand Canyon was literally Egypt. It has hieroglyphics. It had the Sphinx. It has all of the different things that they have over there that are still standing, kind of look old but ain't old enough. The stuff that's in Grand Canyon looks old and it's old enough. The water has changed, some of it through the times and world time change, all of that. But Grand Canyon was Egypt. United States, well, that's the corporation, but North America and South America were the original true old world. Our pyramids are way older than any of the pyramids that are on Earth. Our mounds were our pyramids as well. The eldest. Okay. So, Yah, and he was going to flood the earth, right? The whole world knows this as the Great Deluge. Y'all look it up. The Great Deluge. Deluge. Okay? The whole world knows of that story, the Great Deluge. So that tells me right there that this book is for real. Because everybody, all nations, talk about the Great Deluge. This book talks about the one who did it. Gopher wood, cedar wood, Florida, Garden of Eden, Florida, Jerusalem, Peru, Cusco, the middle, the navel, hunting. Serious. Okay. $15. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. Now, if y'all ever seen the Book of Noah, like on Netflix or something like that, I think it came out, that movie, and it talked about how there was fallen angels and giants and all kinds of craziness. I really, really, truly believe that they did a good depiction of just Noah's portion of Genesis, in this Great Deluge. They did a kind of a good rendition. Okay, but certain parts of it, of course, it was gentiled out, so I was just like, ugh. But for the most part, I dig what they were saying. And how things kind of went down and whatnot. And behold, even I do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee I will establish my covenant, And thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark. Now, I feel that it was very important that Yah did what he did. He chose one family, okay? That one family was doing righteous in his eyes. So that's why he chose them. It was it was Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and they all had a wife each. He is deciding to start the world over because it has gotten too out of hand. Okay? So since he decided to do that, I thought that was very beautiful, because he could have chose a man that had multiple wives, or and heck of children or whatever, but he didn't choose quantity. He chose quality. So that's what y'all men need to understand. Yeah, everything can shake. Yeah, everything can twirl and twerk and be half naked on this doggone thing, but who's gonna really honor you and family and God? That's who y'all need to be going for. Not empty-minded, shaking booty chicks. That's ridiculous. And I'm not saying this because I'm a reformed hood baby. I'm gonna tell you that, okay? It has not been easy for me. Like I said, I am a reformed hood baby who is an urban Hebrew prophetess here speaking this truth to you guys. Okay? So 17, and the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it was lift up above the earth. Hold on, wait. I think it went too far. This was 17. Okay. Behold, even I do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, and destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, Shamaim, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee I will establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, and to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Again, we're going back to male and female. Gentiles added man and woman. That's not right. It's male and female. That's the basics of life. Male or female. Okay? Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah according to all that Yah commanded him, so did he. Now, I sat here and put myself into Utnapishtim Noah's shoes, because literally Noah was living his life. Okay, he was living his best Hebrew life when Yah stopped him and was like, I'm gonna need you to make a boat. Not only just a little boat for you and your family, I need you to make a humongous boat for you, your family, and some animals. 2 by 2, they coming to you. Male and female, they coming for you. What? That's why in that book of that movie, when he utilized the fallen angels that were turned into stone, and they helped him, I believe that way more, because all of them crazy square footage and the cubits and this and that God gave him, I don't think he was able to keep up with that. That was spiritually guided, and they were helping, because that was helping their redemption and getting back up to Shamayim, because they dismayed the Most High by doing things that they wasn't supposed to do. They helped man and those other fallen angels to give man secrets that we wasn't supposed to learn, really. We wasn't ready for all of that. But they gave it to us. Henceforth now, this magical evil called the Illuminated Ones and Masonic stuff and all kinds of things of that nature. So that's where that comes from. The fallen angels who decided to take the daughters of men and to teach them. And that's, I think, also where these men come from with these multiple wives. Because, yeah, it started with Cain. We want to say that. It started with Cain. But that was the confusion of the mind and the evil of the heart. Cain had multiple wives. That's the first ever hearing of a multiple wife situation. That was Cain, but he was already exiled. And like I said, when Yah decided to redo the earth, one and done. Okay? One male, one female, and done. He knew that was going to be replication. Okay. Chapter 7. And the Most High said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, again, male and female, not man and woman, male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. Because he's starting over. He's really ticked off about what these fallen angels and Hasatan done came down here and did to our behinds. He corrupted everybody in their heart and in their mind. And now Yah is going to make the new covenant and put it in our hearts and in our minds. Like Satan put things in our hearts and in our minds. And see, Yah gave us a book the first time. He gave us the commandments on a piece of paper. Well, not piece of paper, but the stone. You know, 2 tablets. He put them on the stone. But this next time, he's going to just write it in our hearts and in our minds. And how that's going to solidify is for us to study to show ourselves approved. So we know with our heart and in our mind what we need to be doing, how we need to do it, when we need to do it, and for why. For why are we doing it? For why are we doing it? Okay. Let's see. 2. Of every clean beast thou shalt make to thee by sevens, male and his female, of beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and his female, of fowls also of the air by sevens, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of the earth. So he even had unclean animals, y'all. He had unclean animals and he had clean animals, and he started telling him how many of each were coming, male and female. And Noah did according unto that the Most High commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him into the ark, because of the waters of the flood, of clean beasts and of beasts that are not clean, of fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as Yah had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the foundations of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. This is also inside of the book of Adam and Eve as well. So crazy, y'all. People were knocking on the door after Yah commanded that Noah and his wife and his sons and all of them go in there, people was trying to bust down the door, y'all. It was animals that was circling the boat because they were trying to keep the people, the evil people, from trying to tear down the boat, the door, trying to get in there. Because at first they didn't believe him, of course. Like, call him crazy. Of course I know they did. What you building that ark for? It ain't never rained before. Like, what is wrong with you? What you mean it's gonna rain? I mean, just chaotic in the mind and evil in the heart, not even paying attention. Okay, so he kept diligent regardless of all of that, because you know they was mocking him. They was making him feel like he was crazy. But he wasn't. God was telling him to do this. And this is how God does me. He is telling me to do certain things that are very unorthodox. People looking at me like, what is wrong with you? You're not being normal. You're not doing the same things you're doing. And I'm telling you, it's Yah. Okay. Okay, upon the earth. 11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the foundations of the great deep broken up, and windows of heaven were opened, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the self same day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2, of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female, of all flesh, as Yah had commanded him, and Elohim shut him in. When I say he shut him in, couldn't nobody open that door. Y'all couldn't even open that door. People's out there screaming, hey, Noah, we're sorry, we believe you not. Open the door. Open the door. And he was like, no, I can't even open this door. God shut it. What door Yah shuts, can't nobody open it. What door Yah opens, can't nobody close it. Okay. Okay, so every sword, and it's a breath of life, shut him in. 17. The flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it was lift up above the earth, and the waters prevailed and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went upon the face of the waters, and the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. The highest mountain, I think, is Mount Everest or something like that. That was covered. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle, of beasts, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land died. Every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark, and the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. Chapter 8. And Yah remembered Noah, and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark, and Yah made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. The waters returned from off the earth continually, and after the end of the 150 days the waters were abated. The ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountain of Ararat, and the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, where the tops of the mountains were seen. 6. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. He sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto the ark. So it says the 7th day of the 7th month. So I'm going to assume they said 150 days. And in that time frame, the waters were receding, but they were going slow. And it was just a long time. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark, and the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dried. And Yah spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, all flesh, both fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. And now Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. And Noah builded an altar unto YAHAWAH, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and burnt offerings on the altar. And the Most High smelled a sweet savor. And the Most High said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Until it does. Until YAHAWAH comes. Chapter 9. And Yah blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and the fear of you, and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. So we're not supposed to be eating medium rare food, nothing. The life is the blood. Okay? We're taking someone's life source, blood source, and that makes us a cannibal. Y'all ain't for that. Y'all said don't be eating no bloody meat. Guys, stay down. Stay from out of there. When them girls going on their stuff, leave that bloody meat alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't poke it. Don't touch it. Don't lick it. Don't do none of it. Leave that bloody meat alone. We ain't supposed to be having it. Oh, and girls of girls too. That's not right. Leave that bloody meat alone. Number 5. And surely your blood of your lives will I require, at the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, and at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yah made he man. And you be ye fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply therein. And Yah spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. 11. And I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. So he's not going to do it that way no more, but he's going to do it a whole nother way. Not to say he ain't going to do it. And Yah said, this is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. That means forever and ever, Yamin. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. The bow. Yah, the rainbow, is Yah's bow and arrow. Okay, so when these alphabet community people using the rainbow, y'all are really trying, y'all. You're using his bow and arrow as a representation of your pride in being adverse to the commandments. He said, now, I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. The rainbow is his bow and arrow, y'all. Just imagine it's laying downward. The thick part is the rainbow part. The part that handled it, that he picks it up, that's the rainbow part. Okay? He with arrows so that the waters could come down for the great deluge. He a bad man, I'm telling y'all. Yes. Okay. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. All right. Now, 14. It shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. That is beautiful. Huh? Shall the bow be seen in the cloud? And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And Yah said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. The sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the 3 sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be an husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine, and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and his two brethren without. So Ham saw his dad naked because Noah just happened to be drunk and going through it, because there ain't no other soul on the face of this earth but him, his wife, and his 3 sons and their wives. He got drunk. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awake from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, the servant of servants, shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be YAHAWAH of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Yah shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. 350 he was. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. He was 950. So it was probably like regular Gregorian time. I don't really know. But you times that by 2, or divide it by 2. Chapter 10. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem and Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, that's them Ashkenazis. I ain't gonna say other words. Them Ish people. And Riphath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, and Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, and Sabteca. And the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Elohim. Wherefore it was said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Most High. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Ashur, and builded Nivea, and the city Rehoboth, and Calah, and Resen between Nineveh and Calah. The same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lehabim, and Naphtuhim, and Pathrusim, and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistim, and Kaphor Torim. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgashite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite. And afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon as thou comest to Gerar unto Gaza, and thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries and in their nations. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber. Eber is Hebrew. If you put the H-E-B-E-R, or H-B-R-E-W, but Hebrew is inside of, Eber is inside of Hebrew. That was a short way of saying we were Hebrew. We were Eber. Okay, and Shem. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, Ashur, Araphax, Lud, Aram, and the children of Aram, Uz, Hol, Gether, Mash. And Araphax begat Selah, and Selah begat Eber, and unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, separated, Pangea, the continental drift. For in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan begat Almodad, and Silpha, and Hazar Mavith, and Jerah, and Hidoram, and Uzal, and Dikla, and Ubal, and Abimel, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations. These are families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their nations. By these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. The whole earth was one, chapter 11, verse 1. The whole earth was one of language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. So this was the Tower of Babel. So they were all on one accord. Everybody spoke the same language, which was Hebrew. Everybody understood the same. Everybody knew things. But of course, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, their children, everybody was spread apart. But then they got together and started saying, you know what, let's build a building that goes all the way up to Shamayim, so that we can try to see God, meet God, beat God. I don't know. They're stupid. Confusion of the mind, evil of the heart. Okay. Let's see. Yep. And the Most High came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Most High said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. So they ended up started doing bad again. Okay? He done gave them a chance. He done let them start living and replenishing the earth, and now they're like, well, we all on one accord. We all good. Instead of saying, let's just praise the Most High better. Let's just stay in obedience better. No. Let's build a building to go reach up to Shamayim and then do whatever. I don't understand why man, when he gets this adverseness in his heart and this confusion in his mind, he feels that he can somehow be able to like that picture touch the Most High. He always trying to come close, but the only real way you're going to be able to get close enough to the Most High is if your stood behind is just spirit and not flesh. Flesh ain't going up there. Flesh ain't getting up there. Flesh ain't going up there. Spirit and spirit only. So death is only the beginning. Because you come back. Reincarnation. That's why. Alright. And this is what they imagine to do. Let us go down, and they confound their language, and they may not understand one another's speech. So the Most High scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. So he knocked the city down. He did the continental drift, because at first it was Pangea. That's how you could put South America right underneath Africa. So in a way, they were one big landmass that was literally broke off and drifted away. Okay. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Elohim did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Most High scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad, who 2 years after the flood, and Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. Arphaxad lived 30 years and begat Salah. Arphaxad lived after he begat Salah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg. That's separation, Pangea. The continental drift. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 230 years and begat Serug. And Reu lived after he begat Serug 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 190 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, Haran, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren; she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Okay, so that is 6, 7, 8. I don't know if that's way better. Okay. Okay, so chapter 12. Now the Most High had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. Okay, now I'm going to back up a little bit, but Abram, his father, his brothers, his nephew now, one of the brothers died. Um, what they were all doing traditionally, they were not doing Hebrew Israelite stuff. They had gods, many gods, little g's, and they were doing pagan things. So this is why the Most High got him up from amongst his people one day and was like, get yourself up and go on off yourself and do what I tell you to do, and I will bless thee. Which is unorthodox, because you raised a certain way, they expect you to continue on that tradition of a certain way. And here God is telling you, break that cycle, do something else, and I shall be your God in life. Like, I shall be your father. I shall tell you what to do and how to do things, and I shall protect you and give you blessings. Okay? And I will make of thee a great nation. I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curse thee. And in all these shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed as the Most High had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Most High appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Most High, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto Elohim, and called upon the name of Elohim. And Abraham journeyed, going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt, and sojourned there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman, female to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. Now, even though that was a lie, that was not right, he did that because he did not want to die. So he would rather have them to flirt with his wife and him be alive than for him to stand up for his wife and he gotta die. And they take her anyway. 14. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptian beheld the female, that she was very fair. The princess also of the princes of Pharaoh saw her, and commanded her before Pharaoh. And the female was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entered Abram well. He entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen, and he asses, and men servants and maid servants, and she asses and camels. And Elohim plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm back. Um, we're on, let's say, let's start at 4, chapter 12, verse 4. So Abram departed as the Most High had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him, and Abraham, nope, that's too far. When he come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, Behold, now I know that thou art fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister. It may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the female, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her, and commanded her before Pharaoh. And the female was taken into Pharaoh's house, and entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen, and he asses, and men servant and maid servants, and she asses and camels. And the Most High plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, She is my sister, so I might have taken her to me to wife? Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had. Okay, so basically he told her to lie and say that they were brother and sister. The Pharaoh was the princess was trying to get with her, lay her down in the bed. That's what that meant by when he said, so I might have taken her to me to wife. When you lay down in that bed, when you have sexual intercourse, you are now marrying that man or that female. Point blank, simple, period. Take it up with God. So stop just laying down. Let's be cut friends, you and I, la la la. We ain't supposed to be doing that no more. We can't do it no more. Now that we know, when you lay down, you have literally made husband and wife in that bed right there. You have made a covenant under the sight of the Most High in that bed right there. You can't take it back. In that bed right there. Chapter 13. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle and silver and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of Elohim, YAHAWAH. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. They were both so big. They both had too many people, too much, their own families. So they had to spread apart. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together. Let's see. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and your herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. If thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan. It was well watered everywhere before Elohim destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of Elohim, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east and they separated themselves one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and had pitched his tent toward Sodom. So he was living around Sodom and Gomorrah. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before Elohim exceedingly. And the Most High said unto Abraham, after that Lot was separated from him, Lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. The dust of the earth? You know how many, like, just going like this, how many pieces you pick up of dust of the earth? That's crazy. Of dirt, like dirt particles of the earth. Just that little piece alone, you picked up 100. Okay. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent, and came and dwelled in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Most High. Now, they were nomadic. They pitched tents, they set up shop, they put it back down, they moved on. They pitched tents, they set up shop, they chilled right there for however long, they took it down, and they moved on. They were nomadic. Chapter 14. And it comes in handy, especially when this apocalypse situation is going to go down, and being in one spot, if you're not properly prepared, it could be disastrous for yourself and your mishpaha, which is family in Hebrew. So we got to get ready, y'all. We got to be quiet enough to hear the Most High speaking to us and letting us know how and when to move. Chapter 14. And it came to pass in the days of Raphael, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Eleazar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Senab, king of Admah, and Shemimber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Chalodomar, and in the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year came Chalodomar, and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims in Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and the Zuzims in Ham, and the Emims in Shaveh, Kiriathim, and the Horites in their Mount Seir, unto El Paran, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to En Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwelt in Hazezon Tamar. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, the king of Bela, the same is Zoar, and they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim, with Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, and with title King of Nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Eleazar, 4 kings with 5. The vale of Sidon was full of slime pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they remained fled to the mountain. And they that remained fled to the mountain. They took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went their way. And they took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew. Abram was a what? A Hebrew. Okay, it says that, 13. And there came out that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner, and these were confederate with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. He divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, and of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's dale. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. That's where they get that from, Melchizedek, saying that he was the king of the Most High Yah. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High Yah, possessor of heaven and earth, and bless the Most High Yah, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand. And he gave him tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up mine hand unto Elohim, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even to a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich, save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portion. 15. After these things the word of the Most High came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield, and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Elohim, YAHAWAH, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eleazar of Damascus? And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine. One born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of the Most High came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad, and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in Elohim, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Most High that brought thee out of Ur of Chaldees, to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Adonai Elohim, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it. And he said unto him, Take me an heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Shalom. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down, and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In the same day Elohim made a covenant with Abraham, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites and the Kenizzites, and the Kadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. Chapter 16. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai told unto Abram, Behold now, the Most High hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened unto the voice of Sarai. She did something absolutely stupid. Instead of waiting on Yah, instead of praying to Yah, instead of obeying Yah, she decided to allow her handmaid to become just like her. Her handmaid was technically beneath her. She was telling her handmaid what to do. Now she allowed her husband, who wasn't looking at the handmaid at all. Okay? So we can't say that this is really truly a man's nature, because a Hebraic man knows how to control himself. A Gentile man don't know how to control himself. He's bestiality in his mind. Animalistic nature. But Yah set his children apart to be very spiritually minded versus animalistically fueled. Okay? So she did wrong. She wasn't supposed to do that, because that's not what God told her to do. That's not how God was going to achieve what he told them. And she just didn't believe that it was going to come in the way that Yah said. So she decided to take matters into her own hand. And that's my baby. Forgive her, y'all. Matters into her own hand. And now her handmaid, her servant, has just become her sister wife. That's the second time we have heard multiple wives being an example. And this one was given unto this man by his wife. He didn't just go out and make his own decision and found his own chick. No. His wife decided that she was ready to have a sister around so that babies can be running, because she didn't feel like God was going to give her the baby to bear. So, Hagar, you going to bear this baby for me. basically. But no, that's gonna be her baby, and she shall see. Okay. Um. Right. 3. Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. So now Hagar was like, bitch, I'm better than you. I just had a child by your husband, whom you gave me to. So I'm better than you right now. And Sarai said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Most High judged between me and thee. So now she feeling bad because she told him to do something stupid. And now this girl is her competition. But Abram said unto Sarai, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. So Sarai kicked her out. Was like, go, you and that baby. Get on out of here. After you did this, we make dumb decisions, okay, y'all? We are just, we making dumb decisions on this in this world so far. Not so good. She shunned her. Look, get on out of here, girl. And the angel of Elohim found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. Like, he laid with her because she wanted that. But then when her end result ended up being totally different from what she expected, now she wanted to do away with the girl because she was unhappy about what had happened. And it did not end up being her baby. She didn't look at it as her baby. She didn't look at Hagar as her sister wife. She did not do none of that. But you made that decision that caused this mess. Crazy, man. Yeah, so she made a dumb decision, and now she's trying to angrily take it out on this girl. You came up with this mess. You and Hasatan in your mind came up with this crazy chaos, and you thought to really put forth this action, knowing that no female wants to think about their husband laying with another female. You just voluntarily allowed that to happen. That is, girl, you tripping. And then you gonna turn around and send her off like she the one who did wrong. No, she only felt like she was better than you after she gave birth. Yeah. 7. And the angel of the Most High found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way of Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence comest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Most High said unto her, return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Most High said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of Elohim said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because Elohim hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of the Most High that spake unto her, Thou, God, seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me. Wherefore the wall was called Ber Lahai Roy. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered, and Hagar bare Abram's a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare Ishmael. And Abram was 86 old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. Hagar and Ishmael are the Muslims now today. They wear scarves and things like what we're supposed to do, but they end up taking it really far. Their hand is really wild to everybody. They do stuff in the name of Allah, which means power in Hebrew, but they don't realize they're just calling his might. They're not calling his name. They're just calling his might, because Allah is power. That's his right hand. That's the power. They're not saying YAHAWAH, but again, they are our cousins. They are the Muslims. They are the death to America and killing all that craziness in the name of power. Okay, so 17. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Most High appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Yah. Walk before me and be thou perfect. I will make my covenant between me and thee, and I will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Yah talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a Yah unto thee and thy seed after thee. I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God, Elohim. And Yah said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. So that's why now today everybody in the hospital is being circumcised. That is a physical covenant sign. Well, that is a physical sign of the covenant. So everybody got this physical sign of the covenant, which is okay as long as they are supposed to be following the Hebrew traditions and laws, statutes and commandments. If they're not doing that, then they're just circumcised of the flesh and not of the heart. Paul talks about that. 10. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you, betwixt. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man in your generations. He that is born in the house or brought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed, he that is born in thy house, and he that is brought with thy money must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people, and hath broken my covenant. And Yah said unto Abram, As for Sarah thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abram fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is a 90-year-old woman bear? And Abram said unto Yah, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And Yah said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Even though Ishmael was born first, and usually the firstborn is supposed to get the birthright, but Yah, like I said, he does not choose quantity, he chooses quality. Yes, he was the firstborn, quantity, but quality-wise, he was not the righteous one that Yah chose to have the covenant with. And he has done that multiple times in these stories, and you will see that, like Jacob and Jacob. Well, Jacob and, what is his name? Isaac and Jacob? The twin brothers, them two. We're going to get to it. Let's see. And Yah said unto Abraham, as Sarah thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto Yah, oh, that Ishmael might live for thee before thee. And Yah said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. As for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Great as in big, not great as in good. Okay? He make him a great nation, like as in a big nation. But a big nation of crazies. But at the very least, they do point back to the Messiah and the Bible and things of that nature. That's what I do respect about whatever part of the book, Quran, that they be reading. It tells the truth about this part right here, and how that they are our cousin, technically. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were brought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as Yah had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, and Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house born in the house and bought with money of the stranger were circumcised with him. So grown men all the way down to little babies, everybody had to get their little Peter whacked. Gotta get that gotta get that turtle out that shell. Crazy. As a sign and token of the covenant. He was 13. Okay, so because Sarah made that stupid decision, she had to live with Ishmael, staring at her in her face, walking around, living life, and she still hadn't been able to bear a child for 13 years. Sarah did though. 18. The Most High appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself towards the ground, and said, Adonai, my Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore ye are come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. So the angels walked up. He noticed they were angels. He came and rushed to them, was like, hey, let me feed y'all. Let me give you something to drink. Y'all can chill right here under this tree. I'm your servant. Let me serve you. Okay? And they was like, all right, do as you please. So he knew that something great was coming, because he knew that them angels was there. Okay? And 6, Abraham hasted into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, kneaded, make cakes upon the hearth. Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetcheth a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. So he killed it and cut it up. And he took butter and milk, and okay, that was 9, 8, okay, 9, 10, 11. The calf which he had dressed, and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? He said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, and which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being also old? So she basically laughing like, I'm too old to even have a child, and he too old to even give me one. Okay. And the Most High said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for the Most High? Ain't nothing too hard for the Most High. Okay? At the time appointed, I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. Nay, but thou didst laugh. You did. Stop lying. And the men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom, and Abram went with them to bring them on the way. And the Most High said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of Elohim to do justice and judgment, that Elohim may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. And the Most High said, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence, and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before Abba, the Most High Yah. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure, there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? So Yah wants to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, and him and Abraham is talking about it. And he like, well, what if it's 50 people over there in that city that's still righteous? Will you still kill everybody, or you will leave it open for their sake, or what? It says, that be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous shall be as the wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Most High said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Most High, which am but dust and ashes. Like, I got another question. I'm just but dust and ashes. I ain't nobody, but I'm just asking you a question, Abba. And Abba, well, and Abraham answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Most High, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 55 righteous. And will thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, if I find there 45, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again and said, peradventure there shall be 40 found there. He said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, oh, let not the Most High be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it. And if I find 30 there, he said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Most High. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. He said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, oh, let not the Lord, the Most High, be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And the Most High went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham's return unto his place. Okay. Chapter 19. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. He's living right by Sodom, and he even notices these angels that have come. And he bowed his face towards the ground. This is Lot. This is nephew of Abraham. He said, behold now, my lords, my Adonais, in turn I pray you into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the man of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house around, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. They were trying to have sex with the angels, okay? They saw regular men. Lot saw angels, okay? They like, hey, tell them come out, honey. They sexy. They is fine, and we ready. Okay, so, and he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast. Okay, hold on, wait. And they called unto Lot, Okay, and they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him. Okay, so he walked out the door and closed the door behind him like, what? What are y'all talking about? Wait, hold on. And said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Stop being gay. Behold now, I have 2 daughters which have not known man. I got 2 virgin daughters in the house. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. They about to break the door down. They about to push Lot out the way just to get to these men. Like the demon that is in these people right now. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door. So the angels pulled Lot back into the house and closed the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. So the angels made the men blind so that they couldn't see the door, so that they couldn't knock it down, so that they couldn't come and sodomize the angels. Crazy. And the men said unto Lot, hast thou there any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place. Okay, just get your behind out of here. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of Elohim. And the Most High hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of this place, for Elohim will destroy the city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. And when the morning rose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Most High being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. Okay, so just a spiritual mental note. If anything ever was to come down to it, flee to the mountains, everyone. Flee to the mountains, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, oh, not so, my Adonai. Behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me, and I die. Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, ye let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing, also that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Most High out of heaven, and he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham gat up early in the morning to the place where he stood before Elohim. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain,